All right. Hello, everyone. This is Maria Feekes. I'm Executive Director of Adonis Fertility International. And I am here today with a phenomenal guest, AJ Rosenfield. AJ, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much for being with us. So we are specifically talking today about very important topic that is financing. It's everything really to do with the financing. I could not think of a better person than AJ to help us really decipher all ins and outs of this topic because AJ, has been in the industry running the company, and she will tell us a little bit about herself, how she started and the name of the company, but for over 15 years. So expertise, guys, that you cannot imagine. And actually, we just came back from probably the largest conference that exists for assisted reproductive technologies industry, and it's so this conference called ASRM. It has been, it actually was in Denver. That's where I'm located as well. So AJ was there, and AJ said that her days, every single day of a conference, she was booked pretty much by like 15, half an hour. She didn't have time for break or anything. All of the clinics, all of the most respectable, right, really players of the industry, and stakeholders, everyone wanted to have time with her because of, and I think it just speaks volumes to the reputation that they have in the business type of service that they have developed. So I'm excited for her to share. So AJ, let's jump in and really let's start just why you even in a fertility world, what happened?
Well, and I appreciate that. And everybody, thank you for joining. So, 15 years ago, our company opened its doors because we recognized that fertility patients specifically did not have a company that dedicated itself to just providing financing for just the fertility process, regardless of what it is, whether it is starting point of an IUI, IVF, egg donors, surrogacy, and so on. And so very quickly we recognized 15 years ago that patients throughout the country needed our assistance because there was no one we're the OGs of the fertility finance. The primarily majority of us have experienced at CapexMD have experienced fertility ourselves. Right behind me is kind of a photo of my daughter who's an in vitro child, which I spent 5 years of myself through a personal journey going through and hoping for a successful outcome. We're very happy to have been successful, and we want to give others an opportunity to be happy with their family, whatever that size is, whether we are helping through the IVF journey or through the surrogacy or egg donor journeys. So for 15 years, we have grown from about a dozen practices to over 350, and we're very happy to be able to work with Adonis in order to be able to provide their patients, their intended parents, an opportunity to not have financing be an obstacle for you guys to be able to move forward. We want to assist you in this path so that this is a stress that you no longer need to have on your shoulders. We know that the sooner you move forward, the sooner you proceed, the better the outcomes are. And we also know the more relaxed you are. And it just everything in life becomes a little bit easier. And so we want to help with that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I cannot tell you enough, how many people I, seen, coming, from the industry. And I feel like every single has a personal story, just like you. Yeah. So it's, the moment you experience it, you just cannot let go because I mean, it's a huge honor, right? To
It's
be,
a rewarding,
it's
it's a rewarding
rewarding
job to
because
be able to see the successes of the families as they move forward with whatever their needs are.
absolutely, it makes it so personal. So when you're looking for the best ways to help families to finance, this is not just you saying, well, it's my job and here are the rules. You've been in those shoes and like you said, 5 years trying to put it, together. So this is just huge. Help us please understand, yes, what are the financial options and what really you're saying you're focusing only purely on fertility. So this is, the
Correct.
medical side, it's not like, the same as a car loan or anything. You're not dealing with mortgages. So how is this different in terms of loans? Just
Great question.
Uh-huh.
Great question, Maria. So there are two types of loans. There are collateralized loans, which consumers take out when they buy a home or a car that has property, the collateral to the loan, that if somebody doesn't pay back their loan, whoever owns that loan or lent that money to the borrower can take the property away. These are uncollateralized, unsecured consumer loans. So they're not as easy because the only options we can look at are income, debt, and credit because there is no property that collateralizes the loan. So the interest rates for our type loans will not be as low as a car or a home, which even now they're significantly high, but they definitely will not be like a credit card, which can be in the high 20s and then the 30s. So there is greater risk for us because of the type of loan it is, but it's not the huge monthly payment that a credit card would be, as well as we also have fixed rates, which is different than what credit cards are. Those are variable. So those are the two types of loans that consumers could be seeing out the industry.
Okay, okay, phenomenal. And you are still very different. I think one is, well, I would well, at least from what I'm seeing, it's the amounts that you are giving. I feel
Yes.
like you have one of the highest. I actually don't know other company that would go as high as you guys. And I still believe, at least from the feedback that we are receiving from the families, that the interest rates that you're providing to them and the structure of the payments and the number of years, it's really, I think it's outstanding. So share more
Yes.
about that. Mhm.
Absolutely. So the minimum loan size for our loans is 3,000. The maximum is 50. The reason we do that is because not only could a patient begin their cycles and treatments with a very low cost option, and then very quickly find themselves in the position of having to go to a more expensive option in order for them to achieve their results. So we try to offer the patients, the intended parents, the flexibility to be able to borrow what it is that they need. Because we have fixed interest loans, our minimum repayment term is 6 months, our longest is 60, which is 5 years. There's never a prepayment penalty with our loans. So if you can put additional couple of $100 to the principal of the loan, that's great. Or if you decide you're going to pursue a different option for financing, but right away you need to go ahead and secure your either egg donor or surrogate, you can go ahead and take out the loan with us and then pursue other providers if you feel that they give you better rates or better options, and then pay off the loan within a few months if you need to. And you only pay for the interest that's accrued during that time. So it's not like we front load our loans with interest. We want to make this as stress-free as we can for the patient.
Okay, okay. And then I know some families ask me questions and I always direct them back to you. You know, they're saying, well, you know, how long does the application takes place? And then when you look into my credit score, whatever, does it impact my credit, right? You know, because they having all of that. Or what happens if maybe I don't have citizenship, or, you know, can I even apply? So what are some options also?
Wonderful. Great questions, Maria. So we are able to lend to citizens or green card holders of the United States.
Mhm.
However, if you're not a citizen or a green card holder of the United States, you can have friends or family members apply on your behalf. It will be their loan, but you can make arrangements with them as far as how to pay them back and so on. But it is absolutely an option if you're not a citizen or a green card holder to have friends or family help you out in this process, because we're happy to lend to them. Now, what we do is a hard credit check. And the reason for that is that we want to have all of the information right away, which does impact your credit score a little bit, but not significant. And it's only for short term. We are not a broker. We lend our own funds, which means we're not going to send you off to 5 or 6 or 10 different directions to give you all of those, because all of those providers will wind up running your credit. We don't want to do that because that can damage your credit. These are our loans. We lend to you, so we only run your credit once because it gives us full detail of exactly what your family's going through and exactly what we can offer in terms. So when we give you a pre-approval for your loan, you will have exactly how much we can help you with, and what your interest rates and repayment terms are, so that it's very easy for you to figure that out. Also, to assist you with that, if you go to our website, which is CapexMD.com, on our homepage, you will find a calculator on the upper right-hand side. You can enter how much you're thinking about borrowing and the repayment terms that are familiar or comfortable to you. And it will give you an idea of highs and lows of interest rates and monthly payments to give you a better indication of what potentially you might be seeing, because those are accurate to about 90% of our borrowers. It just gives you another tool to kind of keep in mind on what can we run into as far as payments and interest rates are. Again, keeping in mind our interest rates are fixed and there's never a prepayment penalty. So you're always welcome to take out the longest possible term and just pay it off much faster.
Okay, okay, thank you. How can families use the money? And is the money going directly into the account, then they paying providers? So let's say if we have, family signing up for surrogacy program, right? Or, we have donor egg bank and they, purchasing just the donor oocytes or going with a fresh donor. Can they use it anyway? And yes, and how does the disbursements of funds works?
So excellent question. So with Adonis, we actually work with two providers of Adonis. We work with Adonis Surrogacy and Adonis Egg Bank. So because of that, we pay directly, well, with all of our providers, we pay directly to them, not the consumer. Life happens. So we do not want you to delay moving forward with the intended purpose of proceeding with fertility. So life happens, bills pile up. Unfortunately, that may preclude you from using the funds for the intended purpose of moving forward with Adonis. So therefore, we pay directly to them, not to the consumer. Because of that, it is directly related to what Adonis confirms their costs are. So if you apply for a $40,000 loan and you're working with Adonis Egg Bank, before we finalize the loan, we'll reach out to them to confirm that, one, you are a patient there, that you have already found your donor, and what is the cost that they need for us to pay to them. That is the amount that we will set up the loan for. So if Adonis Egg Bank confirms that you only need $20,000, that is the size of the loan that we're going to put you into, because we don't want you to take out a loan any greater than you actually need. So we always work with the provider to ensure whatever you may have been approved for is the amount they actually need, so that you don't go into additional debt that you do not need. It just keeps things very clean. And that's when we finalize the loan with you, so that we know that you and Adonis are on the same page as far as how much the cost of the particular protocol or treatment or surrogacy or egg donor are going to be. And as far as the timing of the whole thing, from application to funding can take as little as 2 days. Giving us a week is more than enough time. Giving us 2 weeks is more than enough time. Obviously, we do not want to stress you out. So please give us a little bit more than a day's notice. Our team is very on top of it, but we don't want to stress you out, because it does become a little bit more stressful if it's less than 2 days. So we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to provide us all the documents that we need, keeping in mind we're not here on the weekends. And so giving us a week is sufficient time for us to be able to assist you with whatever loan needs that you have, or definitely get back to you and respond to you, because we call every borrower back. We call every patient back personally. There's never an automated reply for an approval or decline. We never want to slam that door of decline in anybody's face, because we personally, and as a few of you have joined us throughout, we personally have been in the shoes of a fertility patient. So we never want a fertility patient to feel as though they're just a number, just an application. We make sure to take the time to speak with each and every one of you before final decisions are made.
Thank you. Yes, and I could attest to that. One of the reasons why we have chosen CapexMD, just because their response, and like AJ said, that it's a real person. Whenever you call, whenever you email, you get personal response and really attention on what you need. So that's why I love it.
And if I may add to that, if you go to Google reviews for CapexMD.com, you will find that after 15 years of doing this, we're at a 4.9 out of 5, which and it's not just a rating. There's actual stories, personal stories of the experience that the individuals have had, having had the experience with us. As Maria is pointing out, our 800 number is not a phone tree. You're actually going to be speaking to a loan specialist that makes the decision. So if you submit an application or about to submit an application and you hit it off with the person on the phone with you, you could ask them if they can take your application for you, and we'll do our very best to make it happen.
Okay, thank you so much. AJ, we were kind of, as we were planning, we were talking also about, what does the future holds for the whole financing, for the families, for the fertility. Is it becoming easy? Is it becoming harder? Do you see any legislations coming through that maybe, opening or closing the doors? And also another question, you said, really the reason you have designed this, you started your company is because you didn't want families to negotiate on their dream, right? So when you have
Yes.
a dream of a baby, it's not the same as, you postponing and, when you're buying a house. You might be not the youngest person also, but you're saying, right, like, some families, they're saying, gosh, like, we don't have years to wait. But even the young families, you don't. Babies come and, there is a reason why they come when they come. So like even right now, we're going into election or other things. Do you feel like, the interest rates, fluctuating? Would you say jumping doesn't matter when? Are you being impacted a lot? Like, how does it look like?
So it's a difficult time right now, only because we don't know what the election is going to bring. We've all had to deal with the rising interest rates throughout everything over the last couple of years. And although the interest rates have gone up by about 5% over the last 3, 4 years, we've only raised our interest rates too, because we do not want your patients, intended parents, whichever option they decide to move forward with, to find themselves out of reach to be able to afford moving forward with their fertility goals, their family goals. So we have decided this is a tough, difficult situation for everybody right now. We are feeling the pain as well, because we know we could have raised our interest rates by 5 and we chose not to,
Okay.
specifically because of our care with the intended parents. Technology is changing a lot. There's a lot of, when I was going through for my fertility daughter, you couldn't even freeze eggs. At this time, it's wonderful that about a dozen years ago, you could freeze eggs. When I was going through it, you could only freeze embryos. So technology is constantly changing. There's always creative ideas that, Adonis, Egg Bank, and Surrogacy is constantly updating their technologies as well. Coming from the ASRM conference, so many new ideas, new concepts. And also, I want to make sure you know that there are new insurance providers that your employer may be considering. There are a number, and you can Google for them yourself. I certainly don't want to name one versus another.
Mhm.
There are insurance providers out there that employers are currently addressing to be able to offer fertility options to their employees. Obviously, these are the larger employers, not so much the smaller employers, but I want to let you know that those options are out there. Additionally, some of them may have lifetime maximums. Some of them may or may not include surrogacy. Some of them may or may not include medications and may have lifetime maximum for the cost of medications, depending on what your needs are. So definitely check out the various options. There are grants being offered for a variety of different things as well. So check out those options. I'm sure Adonis would encourage you to do so as well,
Mhm.
only because we do not want you, we don't want financing to be in the way of you pursuing your family goals. And that's why our company exists. That's why these other options are available to you as well. And so constantly keep an eye out, join some support groups. You're welcome to check out, like I said, the Google reviews. I'm sure Adonis team can also guide you with kind of what's best in industry at this point. But there's always new things popping up year after year that you definitely want to keep an eye on, and get the helpful guidance from Adonis team to be able to help you in how to secure whatever your needs are.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you so much. AJ, we definitely, well, I really love that you shared about the insurances. So we're definitely going to invite someone from the insurance world as well. I think there is couple that,
Yes.
I hold in a huge regard, just like AJ, companies that have been existing for many, many years and really help shaping this industry. Grants is a very good idea. So I think we will talk and we'll see, maybe, there is someone from HR benefits department who could help us as well. But the most important thing that I want you to walk away with, that yes, CapexMD, and I know right now might sound like a commercial. It was really not intended this way, but the moment we met them, I was so enabled by just their amount of care. Yes. So, and AJ just shared, yes, we're not even raising the percentage rates as high as we should have or could have. So use them also, call them, brainstorm, do complete the application. AJ is saying there could be options for the friends and others. So use them as your sounding board. Yeah. So financing is a big thing. We wish fertility didn't cost that much, right? We wish everything could be free, but it is not. And it is not because we deal with health and top professionals, you have to pay, right? Medication, you have to pay, all of the equipment, everything you have to pay. There is just no way around it. That's where the industry is. So let's take any obstacles away from you. So if you have any questions, let us know. But otherwise, I went through our extensive list of
Can we touch on something really quick,
oh
Maria?
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
indicate the differences between the escrow accounts for those that are choosing to work internationally versus the all-inclusive options that Adonis offers?
Oh, this is a really huge thing. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. And let's also please then share also feedback how it applies to the loan. So guys, we work with 3 different markets actually. So we do surrogacy and egg donation programs in United States, in Ukraine, the whole program is done in Ukraine, and then also in Mexico. And so families, when they are reviewing, programs, depending on the country where we operate, that's where we have to go by the rules and regulations. And so for the programs in the United States, which I think is phenomenal safeguards that we have, the escrow accounts, right? So we're talking about large sums. When you're dealing with surrogacy in the United States, you're looking over $100,000, right? Just the compensation for the surrogate would start around 50,000 and so forth, right? Again, let's discuss, but depends on qualifications. And yes, so one of the requirements is that the funds, you have to upfront those funds, right? All the parties involved, we need to make sure that the financing is there available, because the moment your surrogate is pregnant, right, then what happens? So that's where the escrow accounts come in place. There are different ways of managing it. We have chose for our company to use Seed Trust as our provider. Yes, but the bottom line is money are being held by the third party and then being dispersed to the providers, to the surrogate, to everyone involved based on the agreement that is in place, right? Agreement that you have agreed to between you and the surrogate, with the agency. So how does it work then with financing, right? Because you said that when financing is happening, that's when the money are being dispersed to provider. What happens with the escrow account then in this
Okay,
situation?
wonderful question.
Yeah,
So that's why I wanted to make sure to address that. So
yeah.
if it is a full fee that goes to Adonis because they're working with an international situation where there is no need for an escrow account, the maximum we can do for a loan is 50,000, 50. If it is a US-based surrogacy situation, we can only fund the agency fee that Adonis has. We cannot fund the escrow account. So I just want to make sure that all of you out there are aware that we will address with Adonis as we're moving forward exactly what their fee is that we should include. And they're the best aware of how you're choosing to move forward, whether it's international or US-based. So they will provide to us the exact dollar amount based on what you qualify for, how much to send to them. And keep in mind, if you're doing a US-based situation, they can only do the agency fee for the surrogacy portion. And so with us, the rest would go to an escrow account, things that are like travel and legal fees and things like that, which we cannot fund. So we just want to make sure you guys are clear out there that what we can and can't include will be directly based on what Adonis approves, because we're going to pay directly to them, not to the consumer. And we cannot fund an escrow account as a situation that we've chosen, that this is the way we want to structure our loans.
Yes, no, absolutely. And we are very transparent about the cost structure and everything. I think it's very important for everyone to understand what are the limitations. So agency, but also on the egg donor side, the egg donors
Yes.
would be funded as well. So absolutely, let's brainstorm, as we're building the budgets, guys, for you, as we're understanding your priority and your situation. Let us work with some of the professionals to see what's the best way of structuring your program and financing that really meets your need and meets your timelines as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but excellent. I'm so glad that you brought it up, because yes, sometimes we overlook it when we work well in discussions, because we have so many programs going into Mexican market, so many into Ukrainian surrogacy, but for US guys, it's very, very important. Yes, so thank you so much. All right, so I'm excited that you were able to come join us and share. You did share the name of the website, but when we post the archive, we'll also list the information. Please reach out to the team. They're phenomenal.
Thank you so much, Maria, for having me and presenting CapexMD to your intended parents, as we're here to help, and you're going to find that throughout your experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.